Welcome to Voices of the Soul. Today, we're diving deep into something that's been causing a lot of buzz online.
Yeah,
It's all about our modern obsession with being busy. That feeling like we have to be constantly on the go.
always running around.
Exactly. And it all started with this viral Reddit post asking a pretty thought-provoking question.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Have we, created a society where busyness is worn like a badge of honor and rest is seen as, being lazy?
Oh, that's interesting. It is a fascinating observation how often people respond to, how are you, with busy,
Right.
as if, exhaustion is something to be proud of.
Totally.
But the funny thing is, all this striving for busyness
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily make us more productive. In fact, it can lead to burnout and make us less effective.
exactly. And you know what else the Reddit post highlighted?
Hmm.
This performative busyness even extends to our vacations.
Oh, yeah. Our vacation.
We feel the need to document every single activity for social media
Right.
instead of just relaxing and enjoying ourselves.
Instead of just being,
Have you ever felt guilty
yeah.
for having genuine downtime? For not being productive every second?
It's like we've internalized this idea that any moment not spent striving or achieving is a wasted moment.
Right.
What about just being present
Exactly.
in the moment?
Well, let's unpack this whole hustle culture idea. The Reddit post really dives into that pressure to constantly hustle, particularly this expectation of working crazy hours like 60-hour work weeks.
Yeah, there's a definite sense of disillusionment in a lot of the comments. People are realizing that this constant grind doesn't actually lead to fulfillment.
Yeah.
There's this feeling of burning themselves out for nothing.
Yeah.
One comment even described it as chasing carrots on a string,
Oh, yeah.
always striving for something that seems just out of reach.
Wow.
Have you ever felt that way?
Absolutely. Like you're on this endless treadmill, but the finish line keeps moving further away.
Right.
I also thought it was really interesting how some of the comments brought up historical and cultural differences
Oh, yeah.
and attitudes towards work and leisure.
Interesting.
Like one person mentioned how indigenous cultures often prioritized connection, creativity, and introspection.
Interesting.
Things that European settlers often mistook for laziness.
Oh, wow.
So it challenges the notion that our current relationship with work and leisure is the only valid one.
Right. Makes you wonder if there are other ways to live a fulfilling life
Exactly.
that don't revolve around this constant pursuit of busyness.
Yeah.
Of course, there were also comments pointing out the shorter lifespans in ancient societies,
Oh, right.
reminding us that life wasn't all leisure. Wars and manual labor were very real parts of existence.
Yeah, that's true. It's important to consider the full historical context.
Yeah.
But a lot of the comments did seem to point the finger directly at capitalism
Capitalism.
as a driving force behind this culture of busyness.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it. The capitalist system relies on continuous production and consumption. This inherent need for growth fuels the pressure to constantly be on and producing,
Right.
to be buying and participating in the economy. Some comments even argued that without something like a universal basic income,
UBI.
where everyone receives a basic income regardless of employment,
Yeah.
our current global economy is essentially one giant make-work jobs program.
Wow. That's a pretty provocative thought. But on the flip side, there were also plenty of comments highlighting the importance of rest and downtime and the detrimental effects of constant busyness. Some people shared personal stories about experiencing burnout, anxiety, even an inability to form deep relationships because they felt they were always too busy.
What's important to recognize is that rest isn't just the absence of work.
Yeah.
It's a crucial component of a fulfilling life. It allows us to recharge, connect with ourselves and others,
Right.
and engage in activities that bring us joy and meaning.
One comment that really resonated with me was about how rest and decompression are actually essential for overcoming challenges and achieving genuine productivity.
Right, we're not machines. We need downtime to process information, generate new ideas,
Yeah.
and approach tasks with a fresh perspective.
It's interesting, though, because not everyone views busyness as a negative thing.
Oh, really?
Some of the comments offered different perspectives. For instance, one person talked about how some work can be inherently fulfilling and doesn't necessarily lead to burnout. They gave the example of a mother finding deep satisfaction in tending to her farm,
Oh.
even though it's undoubtedly a lot of work.
That raises an important question about the nature of work itself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not busyness that's the problem, but rather the type of work we're doing
Right.
and whether it aligns with our values and provides a sense of meaning. Maybe the modern disconnect from the direct link between our work and survival
Yeah.
contributes to that sense of burnout.
Interesting.
In the past, work was often directly tied to meeting our basic needs.
Right.
Now, for many of us, it feels more abstract.
Yeah.
We might not see the immediate impact of our efforts on our lives.
That's a really thought-provoking point.
Yeah.
And there was another comment that suggested that modern work often lacks that direct connection to survival,
Yeah.
which might contribute to those feelings of burnout.
Right.
So what does all this mean? We've explored so many different perspectives
I know, right?
on this whole busyness debate.
Yeah.
It's clear there isn't one easy answer.
Right. What we're seeing is that our relationship with busyness is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
It's shaped by cultural norms, economic systems,
Yeah.
our own individual values and experiences.
It does seem like it might be time for a collective step back, you know,
Yeah.
to question whether this constant striving for busyness is actually serving us.
Absolutely. And one commenter phrased it in a way that really struck me. Rest is resistance.
Wow.
It's almost like a small act of rebellion against this overwhelming pressure to always be on,
Right.
always be producing.
I love that idea. So practically speaking, what could that look like for us?
Well,
What small act of rebellion against hustle culture could we incorporate into our week?
it doesn't have to be anything drastic.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as setting boundaries around work emails after hours,
Oh, that's good.
scheduling dedicated time for activities that bring us joy,
Yes.
or even just allowing ourselves to be present in moments of stillness
Hmm.
without feeling the need to be productive.
Those are all great suggestions. It's about reclaiming our time and energy
Yes.
and consciously choosing to invest them in things that truly matter to us,
Exactly.
not just the things that society tells us should matter.
It's about shifting our focus from external validation to internal fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Are we living a life that feels authentic and meaningful, or are we just on a hamster wheel chasing those metaphorical carrots on a string?
That's such a powerful question. Maybe that's the real takeaway from all of this.
Yeah,
True productivity isn't about how much we do,
right.
but about aligning our actions with our values
Yes.
and living a life that feels true to ourselves.
It's about recognizing that our worth isn't determined by how much we do, but by who we are
Mhm.
and how we choose to show up in the world.
Yeah.
And part of that is prioritizing our well-being.
Yeah.
Rest and downtime are not luxuries.
Yeah.
They're necessities.
Absolutely. They're essential components of a healthy and fulfilling life. So to wrap up this incredibly insightful conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
If you were to really examine your own relationship with busyness,
Yeah.
are you truly living a fulfilling life?
That's the question.
Or are you, as we've been saying, simply chasing carrots on a string? It's a question worth pondering. And if this whole discussion has resonated with you, if you're craving more of these deep dives into thought-provoking topics,
Mm-hmm.
we invite you to subscribe to Voices of the Soul
Yes.
right here in your podcast app. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes.
And if you want to go even deeper,
Yeah.
join the conversation on Shauna Polidge's YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
You'll find a whole community of like-minded individuals exploring these kinds of questions and sharing their insights.
We're so glad you joined us for this deep dive into the complexities of busyness. It's been a truly enlightening conversation,
It has been.
and we hope you've gained some valuable insights along the way.
Remember, the journey towards a more balanced and meaningful life is an ongoing one.
Yeah.
It's about making conscious choices each day that align with your values and aspirations.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep those voices of the soul alive. We appreciate your support and look forward to connecting with you again soon. Take care, everyone.